Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new edition of our Friday 15 interviews. So, if you're just joining us for the Greek and Christian podcast, my name is Allison, and I am one of our hosts of the Greek and Christian podcast. And we do these fun Friday episodes where we bring on a student leader from across the country who is involved with Greek InterVarsity, is in a fraternity or sorority, and is figuring out this whole Greek and Christian thing. And so today I have Anna joining me. Hey, Anna.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Of course. And so, Anna, if you're watching this audience on Instagram or YouTube, you can see behind me, there's a football field. It's very green. It says sycamores on it. Anna, why don't you tell me, where do you go to school?
So she's at Memorial Stadium in Terre Haute. It's at Indiana State University. So that is where I go.
Excellent. Love it. Yes. So if you've watched our Friday 15s before, I usually like to pull a campus photo for my background in honor of my guests. And so, yes, Anna, in addition to Indiana State University being where you go to school, why don't you just give me some fast facts about yourself? Like year in school, Greek chapter, hometown, or any other fast facts we think we should know about you.
So I am a senior this year. I just have 3 or 4 months left. And then I'm in Zeta Tau Alpha at State, and I am from Fishers, Indiana.
Oh, Fishers. I've been there. So very good. Cool. Yeah. Well, you're a senior. That's very exciting. And I'm sure your time in Terre Haute, you've experienced a lot of the great local foods. And so food was always a big part of my college experience with my sorority sisters, getting those late night meals. Yeah. I'd love to hear what is your favorite place to eat at in Terre Haute?
It definitely has to be this Mexican place called Tacos and Tequila. It's right downtown. We can actually, from campus, we can walk there. So me and my friends we always go there for our Mexican. So you just never can go wrong. So that's, if I had to pick, that's my favorite. Yeah.
Love it. I'm pretty sure another Indiana State guy I talked to last season said his favorite local restaurant was Applebee's. So I think
Applebee's is really popular. A lot of kids go there. Yeah.
I mean, no, nothing against Applebee's. But that's not what I thought of when I thought of local favorite.
Yeah. That's so funny. They do have good food though.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Well, hey, Anna, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your Greek experience. And so I'd love to hear, you're a Zeta Tau Alpha. What has been your favorite memory or moment, tradition so far in Greek life?
Well, I guess I would just have to say that definitely I'm moment, I guess, is just meeting my best friends. If it wasn't for Zeta, I would not have the friends that I have. And so definitely thankful for that. But probably my favorite memory in Zeta is GreekCon, when we got to go. It was right before COVID hit, so we were all able to go. And I don't know, I just the conference itself was awesome, but then just also being able to be with my sisters too, and share that intimate time with the Lord and each other was just so cool, and I'll just never forget it. So that's probably my favorite memory.
That's awesome. I can relate. So I remember when I brought some of my Pi Phi sisters to Greek conference when I was a student, it was just a really special experience, especially because the dance party theme that year was Olympics. And one of my sorority sisters, her dad was an Olympic figure skating coach. And so she had all the old Olympic jackets and costumes. Cool. So,
that's so fun.
Yes, it was a very fun memory. Yes. Well, let's get into more. I mean, it's a great segue because you talked about, Greek life and your faith and going to Greek conference together with your sisters. So I'd love to hear, were you connected with Jesus, or did you have a relationship with him before you got to college? And what's it been like for you to figure out how your faith intersects with Greek life?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I've always grown up Christian, and and in the church, my family or my parents have done a really good job of just always making sure the Lord is in me and my siblings' life. And so that was always instilled. And then I would say, so yeah, I would say I was like a follower when I came to college and in Zeta. But then I would say like once I my first couple years, I think I kind of put my faith kind of like on the back burner. And,
Mhm.
I think when you get to college, like you're not forced to go to church if you don't want to, you're not forced to open your Bible. Like those are all kind of decisions you have to make on your own. And I think I just got distracted and I got caught up
Mhm.
in being in the sorority and in the social scene. That was like more of my focus. And I would go through times where I would be like all about Jesus, like praying and like going to church sometimes, but I wouldn't say my uh, actions were kind of aligning with that.
Mhm.
And so I think I had to really, I think God made me do it for a reason, but I had to really kind of go through some things and navigate and decide why I want to follow Jesus. And
Mhm.
I think God did this for a lot of people, but I think during COVID, I got really God isolated me and a lot of things came out,
Mhm.
and I kind of just had a moment of like being on my knees and being like, this is too hard to try to do both. Like I don't want to, I'm tired. And
Yeah.
then I don't know, God just really transformed my heart. It wasn't like overnight. It's been obviously a process, but he's just changed how I see things and and so yeah, just it's been a journey, but when I look back to my freshman year to now, it's like night and day or something.
Totally different. Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that
it is.
interesting? Well, and I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people in our audience totally relate to that of like if
Mhm.
they came into college with some kind of faith, it's just so easy for that to be put on the sidelines.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's just so much happening, not just socially, but with your classes and
Yes,
yeah, it's just such a transformative time in general being in
it
college. And
is.
so, but there's something really powerful about like making that decision for yourself as an
Yeah,
adult
yes.
that,
Yeah,
I want to make my relationship with Christ a priority.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
love hearing how you just like saying that during COVID, like, okay, God, I can't do this anymore alone. You saw him really
Mhm.
transform your
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
So,
he really did. Yeah. So,
oh, that's amazing. Well,
yeah.
I'd love to hear, uh, what is really the best thing about your faith and Greek life coming together? What's the best thing about being Greek and Christian? And, what's the hardest thing about it?
I would say probably the best, and probably people have said this, but just being able to be a witness, like it's just like such an awesome opportunity to share about Jesus, because it's just college in general, your faith is just not really talked about, but especially in Greek life, like that's just
Yeah.
not that's not what people are wanting to talk about or participate in. And so I think
Hmm.
just being able that you can be a person in that. And then I think it also, there are some people who have a negative outlook on Christians and the church, which
Yeah.
I understand. But I think like they could see you and be like, oh, this girl or this guy's in Greek life and she's Christian and she's not like judging, or so I think it's a great way testimony to those people that might be like don't really want to open themselves up also to Christians either. um but yeah, so I think that's the best thing.
Hmm.
And then hardest thing is just definitely it's um the distractions and like the
Yeah.
temptations.
Yep.
It's just like I feel like I know from experience, like
Mm.
you have to be strong in your faith in college, but and in Greek life too. It's just very easy to just kind of not think about your faith. So you definitely have to, yeah, stand firm in that. But yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. And, I think what's cool about that of, it is really challenging to be
Hmm.
a Christian in the Greek system, but what I think is really cool about it is that when you graduate, if you figured out how to live out your faith in the Greek system, then you can absolutely do it in your workplace, in
True.
your
Right. That's true.
relationships,
Hmm.
and it really does prepare you for life in the
Yeah.
real world, right? Or,
Yeah.
or outside of life on campus.
Hmm. It
So,
does. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
It shows you that you like, I think it shows to people too, like that you're not perfect either. Like even if you are
Yeah.
Christian, like people can, you're humbled, I feel like too, because
Yes.
people will be like, well, I saw you doing this. And like, so it's
Yep.
just, it's good too.
Yes, that's kind of the double-edged sword of Greek life is that your
Yeah.
sisters know everything about you.
Yeah.
Both the like really good things, right? They can
Yeah.
call out these really great things about you, but then they see all your flaws as
Yeah.
well. You're right,
Yeah.
it is humbling.
Yes.
Well, I'd love to hear, like, do you have any encouragement or advice for Greeks around the country who are trying, just like you, to
Mhm.
grow in their faith as a Greek student?
Yeah, I would say first of all, just don't beat yourself up too much. I think
Mm,
that's something that I struggled with a lot, is just like being like I did this thing bad, or like I'm not doing enough. And so I think just reminding yourself that, I mean, I think there is a such thing as like healthy conviction, and it's a
yeah.
good thing to have conviction. That means like the Holy Spirit is in you. But I do think like feelings of shame and guilt aren't from the Lord. And so,
Mhm.
to tell yourself that, and that you're on, it is a journey. So it's not like it's not going to just be like this perfect shot. Like you are going to have bumps, and you are growing too. Like that's the whole point. You're not supposed to
Mhm.
perfect. And so I just think if your intentions and your heart are on the Lord, he's going to do the rest, and he's going to guide you. So but yeah, just don't get discouraged when you do fall, because that's just life, and that's just being Christian too. So
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. I like how you use when you fall, not if, because we are imperfect people who
Yeah.
need God's grace. I mean, that's the heart of Christianity is that, we are imperfect and we need God's grace. And so
Right.
I like that. It's just reminding yourself of that,
Yeah.
yep, I am trusting God to transform me and to change my
Yeah.
life. And,
Mhm.
but, also trusting that He has an infinite amount of grace for me
Yes.
when I do
Yes.
mess up. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm. Well, this is a podcast. And so I always love to leave a little space for any shout outs that my guests like to give. So, Anna, are there any shout outs that you want to give to anyone?
Yes, I definitely want to give a shout out to Steph McCarty, because she is like my mentor, supervisor, and I just would not be able to be doing any of this or
Hmm.
just involved in Greek University, if it wasn't for her and just the time she's invested in me. I've learned so much and gained so much wisdom and knowledge, and I think she's just an awesome person too. So I'm gonna give her a shout out.
I love it. She'll love
Yeah.
it too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, Anna, thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us.
Thank you, Alison. Yeah.
Yes. And for our audience, make sure if you liked this content, make sure to like and subscribe to the Greek and Christian podcast. Really, you can find us wherever you're listening. I mean, obviously, you're listening to our podcast, so you found us, but like and subscribe, leave us a comment, and follow us on Instagram at Greek IV so that you can kind of stay in the know of all that we're up to around the country. So thank you again, Anna.
Yeah, this was so cool. Thank you.